Welcome back to another IM Users video. I had a request for a very specific industry, being the bottle and medical bottle manufacturing specifically. However, I wanted to put something together that would be the same rules for all bottle manufacturing, looking at your T dimension, your E dimension, your H dimensions, things like that, and how you would set those up. So we've got a bottle here, and the first thing that we need to do to set up these dimensions is get a center line. So I'm going to draw through the middle of my part. With the center line tool, you just want to get your center line about in the middle and then highlight the entire portions of the part. Hit apply and it will actually shift and drop in an actual center line in the middle of your component. Next up, you want to go to your max point rectangle tool. Now we need to get a T dimension for out here on the threads. So I'm going to encompass those threads and make sure that my peach arrow is pointed outward. For those of you who are looking on small screen, there you go. So my peach arrow is pointed outward. Next thing I need to do is on the bottom, come down to my referencing and select Align and select my center line. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the maximum point coming off from that center line. Hit Next, come over to the other side, and do the same thing. Again, make sure your peach arrow is pointed outward. If it isn't, you can always select making it left or right facing on your right-hand side. Once you're happy with those, go ahead and hit Measure, and you'll see it drops in 2 points at the thickest dimension. Go into your Basics, Point to Point, select the first point, the second point, place your value wherever you'd like it to be. This is our T dimension. And I want to make sure that I am vertical to the middle of my part. So we selected vertical and then aligned it to the center of my part. This way, if our points are not exactly parallel, as they will be in most sports bottles or just water bottles, drinking bottles, things like that, you'll still be able to get that direct dimension. Let's take a look and do the E dimension now. Same idea. We're just going to come across, and this time facing inward. So we want to actually grab the inside lip. Make sure to referencing the center. So again, inside, referencing to our center. Hit Next. Reference to that center should be automatic as long as you hit Next. If you did not hit Next, you will have to reference again. Once we're happy, hit Measure. It's going to attach right onto the edge of the lip at your smallest dimension. Basics, again, point to point. Place it, and again, make sure we are vertical to the center of our part. This is our E dimension. H is done a little differently. What we're going to do is come down to our elements. Now this will depend a little bit on how your threads are set up. In this particular case, we'll use a line element. You may need to use a max point if you've got some sort of a rounded thread or something like that. But I'm just going to draw a small line segment right on the edge. I'm going to draw another line segment on this edge here. And then, of course, we need to get the line segment for the very, very top, and that one's simple. Just pull up across the whole thing. Hit Measure. It'll attach each of them. Now, the trick is that this is at a somewhat of an angle due to the way the threads are cut. So to get an accurate dimension, we need to go into Virtual Figures and go to Connecting Line. What this lets us do is we can zoom in and click on that line, and it continues it on imaginarily. You can see that it's at a little bit of an angle, as we expected, and this one will be as well. But by clicking this one, it will actually straighten those two out. So it's using data from the right-hand side and the left-hand side to get where that actual dimension is. Now, we go into our Basics, line to line, click the two, place it where we'd like, and we have our H dimension. So there you have it. Very simply, how to set up your T, your E, and your H dimensions. This works for regular threads, medical threads, just about any type of bottle manufacturing. Hope that helps.